Hello! Shitty lighting today because the lamp is usually here. That kind of helps light up the room just a little bit. It's my boyfriend's lamp for painting miniatures. He does like Warhammer and all that stuff. And he took it to his workstation because we now have a workstation at home for painting miniatures. That's a thing. I'll figure something out for the future. For now, I guess you'll just have to deal with this being a dark video. But it doesn't matter because you can just listen to it. You don't even have to watch it because I'll be talking about books. Yes. Also, look how cool this dress is. I got it from my friend. And from my friend, I mean, it's my friend's. But she doesn't wear it anymore. So I wear it now. Okay, so before I start this video, I want to say something, and this is very random and stuff, but and I know it's totally unrelated. Is it unrelated though? I don't think it's unrelated. I think it's something that Geralt might say to an extent, and that is, be kind to people. I'm not accusing you all of anything, but I don't know, man. I just feel like not enough people are kind. And by kind, I mean kind. I don't mean nice, right? I don't mean being nice to someone's face and then talking shit about them behind their back. I'm not saying, you know, being nice to someone's face, but not actually caring, you know, just trying to be civil. Don't get me wrong, being nice and civil is good enough. It's good enough. But if you can go the extra step, the extra mile, and be kind, help people, try and be as non-judgmental as possible, it's important. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how important that is these days. So be kind to people. I know, very random. I apologize. It's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Kindness is important, so yeah. Alright, so going into the topic of today's video. This is a book review, as PewDiePie would have done it, which he will because book review with Pews is back on, and I'm out of focus again. Can you focus on my finger? I really need to start editing these videos. It's just, I don't have the time, you know, guys. Like, PhDs take a lot out of you, and not only am I doing a PhD, great, I'm also teaching English, and I'm doing a fuck ton of other things beyond that. Like, I'm a very busy person. So, okay, that's beside the point. We are doing a book review. And the book review is a modern classic of Polish literature that has been fucking butchered by Netflix. And I will explain to you why. We are talking about the Witcher series today, which is very dear to my heart and to the hearts of many Polish people, I feel like. I have all the books right here. Apart from the newest one. I haven't bought it yet. I'll be buying it soon, hopefully. I even have, my dudes, the official Witcher cookbook. I don't even know if this came out in English or if it's just a Polish thing. But this is amazing because if you actually read the books, if you played the games you might have noticed it as well. If you watched the movies, I mean the TV series by Netflix, then you'd have no idea. But if you read the books or maybe played the game, you'd know that The Witcher is highly inspired by Slavic culture, Slavic folklore, Polish culture, folklore, and so a lot of the recipes in this book are traditional Polish recipes for like one of like my favorite things. So we have kompot, which is, I don't want to call it a juice because it's not really a juice, but let's call it like something fruity to drink. We have bigos, which is God's gift to people. It is cabbage, but it is the most beautiful cabbage. It's so beautiful. Bigos is superior. We have kaszanka with egg, which is blood sausage. Also beautiful. We have żurek, which is bread soup. Another one of God's gifts to people. There's so many really good recipes in here. I've got this is like genuinely one of the best gifts I've ever got in my life. I got it from my boyfriend for Christmas this year, and I've just been cooking stuff from it like crazy. Like, the recipes in this are so good. So like, if you're Polish and you like to cook and you like good food that's traditionally Polish or inspired by Polish traditional cuisine, get this. If this is translated to English and you want to eat some hella good food and also see what Polish cuisine tastes like, get this. They're not all Polish recipes, like traditionally Polish recipes, but a lot of them are inspired by traditional Polish recipes. I mean, it's a Polish book written by Polish people. They're great. Like, I haven't eaten anything from this book yet that wouldn't be good. So, highly recommend it. But okay, so The Witcher. There's a lot of things that The Witcher is about, and a lot of things that people think The Witcher is about, which are not really true. So a lot of people, if they haven't read or played the games or anything, I'm not going to be talking about the TV series because that is blasphemy and you cannot change my mind. I apologize. I'm talking about the Netflix version. I still haven't seen the Polish version. Apparently it's good. One day, but not today. I'm too busy watching Pokemon. So, sorry guys. Also Clarkson's Farm. Is anyone else watching Clarkson's Farm? Can you talk about how good that is? This is so good. I started, okay, little tangent, half a minute. I started watching it because, as the majority of my generation, I grew up with Top Gear, you know, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and Jeremy May, or at least the majority of my generation, Poland, maybe Europe. We grew up with Top Gear because we're still that generation where fathers didn't really take care of their kids that much. So the one time of the week that I spent time with my daddy was when he'd sit down to watch Top Gear, and I'd watch it with him. A lot of fun memories. And yeah, and so now I'm watching Clarkson's Farm. Really, really good. Highly recommend it, guys. Love that guy. Anyway, so yes, so going back to The Witcher. I don't know what I said. Oh yeah, okay. I will not be talking very much about the TV series. If I say anything about it, it's probably not going to be good. So if you're a fan of the TV series, you know, feel free not to listen. The books themselves, I feel like everyone thinks that The Witcher is a fantasy book, which I feel like couldn't really be further from the truth. Yes, it's a fantasy book because it's set in a fantasy setting, in a fantasy world, blah, blah, blah. But what this book is actually about, and the reason why I love it so dearly and it's so close to my heart, is love. It's relationships, it's many things, it's family. What I love about these books is the way that the characters are portrayed in them, and the relationship that they have. That's why the third book, where do I have the third book? Here we go. Baptism of Fire in English, probably. I have them all in Polish because, I mean, if I can read in the native language, I'm gonna read it. Baptism of Fire is my favorite book because of that, because, you know, every part has a different storyline, but they're all connected, as in, you know, one starts where the other finishes and so on. And the third one focuses on Geralt wanting to go, so it's the main character, one of the main characters, Geralt, going to find Ciri, who is his adopted daughter. And he, you know, meets friends along the way and becomes friends with a lot of people who are very unlikely, like a vampire, who's one of my favorite characters, by the way. And, you know, together they all decide to risk their lives to save this random dude's daughter. And I'm just like, that's crazy. That's so beautiful. And, you know, the whole concept's lovely, but also the way that the relationships between people are portrayed is so beautiful and heartwarming to me. And reading these books, reading these characters and seeing how much affection they have for each other, it's genuinely beautiful and heart-stopping to me. And the fact that, you know, that Geralt and Yennefer adopt Ciri, both of them adopt Ciri as their daughter, that they love her so much. All the witches actually adopt Ciri as their daughter, to be honest. It's really beautiful. I'm also kind of doing this review with the assumption someone read the books, so if you don't know the characters, I'm sorry. But yeah, so this is something, one of the things I really, really hated about the series, is that they utterly destroyed the relationship between all those people, right? Because in the books, Ciri wants to be a witcher, right? She really, really wants to be a witcher, and she wants to go through the mutations that could kill her and all that stuff. And the witches don't let her, because they're like, child, we love you and we can train you as a witcher and we'll do whatever you want, but you're not going through the mutations, because that could, and the trials that lead to the mutation, because that could kill you, and we love you and we don't want you to die. Which is really hard one, because Ciri's always like, you know, trying to become a full-fledged witcher, blah blah blah, and the witches, you know, are actively not allowing it because they love her too much to, they don't want to make her suffer, they don't want to see her suffer, they don't want to see her in pain. Like, this genuine love between those old, stubborn, you know, frustrated men and this young 11-year-old girl that comes into their life out of nowhere, very randomly. There's so much love towards her. And in the series, Vesemir, which is the oldest Witcher, and he's actually the one in the books that is the most against Ciri going through the trials, because he's the oldest, the wisest, and he knows how fucking dumb that is. And then in the Netflix TV series, Vesemir is like, light bulb, great idea. Y'all know what we should do? We should make Ciri go through the trials. Crazy. And that's the moment I was like, I'm out. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? So yeah, sorry. My point is that that's one of the very many reasons I absolutely hated the TV series, because it took the most beautiful thing about the books, which is the relationships between people, the familial love, which it's all adopted family, which is beautiful, right? Because showing familial love in a biological family is one thing, but all the families that we follow, all those groups of people that we follow in the books, you know, they've adopted each other as their family. They're not biologically related, and all the love and affection they have for each other, it's the most beautiful and heartwarming thing to read about to me. And seeing that just butchered so fucking intensely in the TV show just killed me, and I was like, what? Another thing that the Witcher books are about is politics. I'd say that those are the two main topics. Politics, there's a lot of talk about destiny this, destiny that, blah blah blah, and the whole point of cheating it and how dumb it is, whatever. That, I don't think that's as interesting, I'm not gonna talk about it. But I'd say that the familial friendship bonds, the affection people have to each other, you know, creating those bonds is one of the things that the book is about, and the other one is politics. So if you're really into that kind of stuff, these books might be for you as well, because there's not really a whole lot of Witcher stuff going on in the books. They're called Witcher, I think mostly because Geralt does tend to be the main character. Yeah, there are other main characters, he's not like the sole main character like you'd see in the TV series, but I feel like out of all the main characters he does tend to appear the most, him and Ciri, of course, the two of them. But, you know, if you're afraid that if you wanted to read these books for a while, and you were wondering that they're not for me, because I don't like fantasy that much, it's not that much fantasy, I think, like, in the first, okay, and the short stories, but like in the first book, Geralt kills one monster, and that's like it, you know. Yes, then Ciri gets the ability to jump between worlds, blah blah blah, but the point I'm trying to make is that this isn't really a fantasy book per se, in the sense that it's not, you know, Harry Potter, it's not Lord of the Rings. That does also have those same things as The Witcher, but this is beside the point. There's much more fantasy going on in Lord of the Rings. In the case of this book, the fantasy genuinely plays a minimal role. It's mostly about politics, how little influence we have on a lot of things, and familial, friendly, affectionate bonds. I'd say that that's the main topics of the books, and because of that, I mean, the political aspect is very interesting to read about, and it makes for a good book for someone who's looking for something a little bit more ambitious. But the reason I really like reading these books is, like I mentioned, the familial bonds. It makes for a very wholesome read, you know? I read a lot of very difficult books. I read a lot of horror, and I read a lot of gothic fiction, and some of the books I read are intense, let me tell y'all. Like, they make me feel something sometimes. And after each book, I need something happy to pick up with. I will most likely be doing like a suggestion of my top 5 feel-good series. And I know I've done a video like that before, so I have to go back, look at it, so I don't recommend the same books to you guys. I'll probably do like a book on my favorite series to pick up if I need something to feel better. And The Witcher is actually one of them, because at the end of the day, these are very, very wholesome books. Like, genuinely wholesome books to read. Not all of them. The 4th and 5th part are a little bit difficult. I'd say the first 2 parts, and I'm not talking about the short story collections, they're okay, they're nice, but there's a separate thing, kind of. The first 2 books are fun. The second book is extremely heartwarming and wholesome, and the last 2 books are definitely way more difficult to read. I think in the 4th one there's like nearly an essay scene on Ciri. I think it's in the fourth one, I don't remember now. So, you know, there's some tough shit going on there. But if you want to pick me up, the first 3 books, especially the third one, are really great. The short story collections, I think, are fairly good for a pickup as well. Haven't read the first prequel yet. I have it here. I don't know if this is even translated into English. Maybe, probably. Season of Storm. Yeah, Season of Storm, so it's translated. I think it's Season of Storms. So, I haven't read this one yet, and I haven't read the new one that came out like a month ago, I think, at this point, maybe 2, I don't know. I also don't know when I'll be posting this. We'll see. So, you know, I've got 2 more books to read in the series. I've played the games, and once again, going back to something the books kind of are about, and a critique to the series, is that I know a lot of people say, oh, it's not just about Slavic, Polish cultures, like Germanic cultures and Nordic cultures in there as well. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm not taking that away from y'all. But there is a lot of related to Polish culture and also Polish history. You know, for those, okay, actually, maybe you don't know, Polish was a communistic country. I know that, as in that there was communism here. I know the world doesn't view us as having been a post-communistic country because we weren't part of the, I don't know how it's in English, but you know, the big Russian Empire. We weren't officially a part of it. But there was still communism in Poland. Like, PRL, however that is in English, was a very difficult time. When I hear stories from my family from back then, like my grandma's 85, she was born literally with the beginning of the Second World War, and she remembers everything from the war, and definitely everything from the communism part. It was a very difficult time, and you can see a lot of inspiration and, you know, a lot of the Polish... Poland as a country history told through those books as well. So especially, you know, if you know a lot about our culture and our history, then you can see it in the books as well. It's a nice way to learn about certain things. But most of all, like I said, the Slavic culture, I really like that portrayal. I am a proud Slav. I maybe don't show it off that much, but I like being Slavic. I consider myself Slavic and South African, you know, I grew up in those 2 cultures, but I feel like the Slavic cultures are very beautiful. Yes, I know everyone knows the memes, Gopniks, we have our own version in Poland called Drese, which is the superior subculture, and I am goth, but that's beside the point. Drese are the superior subculture in my opinion. But, you know, so I know that that's what people think about when they think about Poland. They think about the K word, you know, our favorite swear word, which we have so many better swear words than that, but that's what I'm just saying. But there's so much to Slavic culture and Polish culture, so much more that people don't know about, and it's so beautiful. And, you know, I come also from a family of mountain men. They're called Górale, which literally translates to mountain men, which is a whole nother topic in itself. I don't know, like, I like Slavic culture. I like Slavic traditions, Slavic cuisine. I think it's beautiful. We have a long, rich, beautiful history. Well, not always so beautiful. We messed up a lot as well, just don't get me wrong. And I appreciate it when it's shown somewhere in a positive light, and it is through The Witcher. And that is one of the many reasons I did not like the Netflix TV series, because I feel like it was entirely erased, and the video games did it in such a beautiful way. Because, you know, when you have The Witcher, the TV series, the way they build houses and stuff, it's not the same as they were built here. Meanwhile, when you play The Witcher 3 specifically, you know, and you have all those smaller villages, like that's what the villages looked like here. You know, same with clothing. In the games, they wear more traditional Slavic clothing, which is great in my opinion. And in the TV series, like, I understand you want to go over the top and have all those fancy clothes because it's Hollywood and stuff, but I actually, personally, would have appreciated so much more if they had just worn your basic Polish or /Slavic, it doesn't have to be Polish, /Slavic, you know, clothes. I know they're not as profound, but I actually feel like it would add so much more to, you know, to the show, to show a little bit of our culture. I feel like, and this is my opinion, I know a lot of people might not agree with it, but I feel like Slavic culture is extremely overlooked. You know, everyone knows about Ireland and the Nordic cultures, you know, Greece, Italy, and that's great. Like, just to be clear, I am not bitching about people knowing about those cultures. That is great. I believe that culture should be shared, and it's so beautiful, and I really hope that it doesn't get destroyed by globalization. Probably one day, but I'm hoping it, you know, it won't. But I feel like Slavic culture, you know, of all Slavic countries, not just Poland, is extremely overlooked and forgotten in media and in everything, really. It's gotten to a point where, for Polish people, where we have Maria Curie Skłodowska, or Skłodowska-Curie, I actually don't remember. I have to check which way. And, you know, they make movies about her, and they show her as Marie Curie. She's not Marie Curie, she's fucking Maria Curie Skłodowska. She was a Polish woman, extremely proud of being Polish, by the way, to the end of her days. And that is one of the main reasons she kept her original surname. She married a French dude, but she kept her surname not because she was a feminist. I mean, probably she was a feminist as well. But she kept her surname because she was so proud of being Polish, and Poland didn't exist at that time, you know? And, you know, they make movies about Marie Curie. And it's Maria Curie Skłodowska. Skłodowska, okay? It's not that difficult. So, I think it's just my opinion, but I think it's a shame when any culture gets overlooked. Literally any culture. I think every culture has something beautiful in it, something to appreciate, and I feel like Polish culture, Slavic culture gets overlooked. You know, people aren't as interested in it, and it's fair, you don't have to be interested in everything. But, you know, when you take something that is inherently related to Polish culture and Polish traditions and Polish history, like The Witcher, it is genuinely considered in Poland, I think, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, you know, modern classic of our country. And you take that and you make a TV series where you do nothing related to Slavic folklore. It's just a little bit sad to me, you know, because that is something we have the opportunity to show how beautiful Slavic culture can be, and you're not taking that opportunity. You're forgetting about it. And once again, that's just my opinion, but like I said, I am a big fan of propagating cultures of every country in the world, be it, you know, Native American, be it Japanese, be it Croatian, be it Aboriginal people in Australia. All cultures, in my opinion, are equally beautiful, and they all deserve a chance to shine. And I just wish that in the Netflix version of The Witcher, Slavic culture would have gotten that chance, is all. But I really like how the Slavic culture is portrayed in The Witcher, so if you're interested in Slavic culture in general, I think that's the third reason why you might enjoy reading these books. So finishing off quickly, overall, I just want to say that I really enjoyed this series. I think it's a very well written, I heard very negative opinions on the English translation, so if your native tongue isn't English, maybe try finding the books in your native language and not English, because I've heard the English translations are extremely bad. Like, the language is really cruel and nasty, because in Polish it's written in a very beautiful way. So maybe don't read the English version if you know any other language, but I highly recommend it. The whole series is 5 out of 5 stars for me. I don't have really anything much negative to be said about the series. I can just say I highly recommend it. I hope you read it, especially if you've seen some other things related to The Witcher. I hope you enjoy it, and if you've read it, or if you plan on reading it, or if you read it after this video, please let me know in the comments below what you think, because I'm really curious. And if you have any thoughts on what I said, whether it be about culture, familial bonds, or whatever, then let me know, because I like to engage with you guys. So yeah, I have at least 2 more videos planned. So you can expect at least 2 more videos from me, most likely, and we'll see where I'll go from there. Wait, 3, I have 3 more videos. 1 will actually be edited, so yeah. I'll see you around. I love you guys, and yeah, have a nice day and a nice week. Bye bye.